What's up guys, my name is Soulless Baby, and today we need to talk about Anthem's endgame content, or lack thereof. I want to talk about what we know now, how things we've seen in the past may indicate the future, EA having their hands in it, making a difference, microtransactions, the whole shebang. First up, Anthem's endgame at launch will consist of 3 strongholds. As of the time of writing this, we have already played one of them. Free play, which we don't know too much about how it will change or if the world in full release is more jam-packed full of things to do, and legendary contracts, which from my understanding seem to be like Destiny's daily heroic missions, but with added mechanics to make them seem less repetitive on us. No raid at launch, but this seems to be an industry standard nowadays to put your raid in the game a week or two after launch, after the DLC drops. I don't particularly understand this metric, but hey, maybe that's why I don't make the big bucks. But while on the topic of raids, let me quote you something from Ben Irving, Anthem's lead developer. The problem with raid is that it has a connotation. It requires more people, or has 5 bosses in a circle. That's why I'm using the word aspiration content. In other games, a raid is that, and while I think that it is important to a game like ours, we have an idea which is different, but ticks the needs of why a raid is important. It's the thing you'll schedule with your buddies, will be hard, require tons and tons of coordination, and then there will be ways to show off if you are good at that or not. While this sounds all well and good, it concerns me because it is a tactic used by many developers, basically trying to say, hey, I know what you want, so I'm going to make it sound like that, even though I know it's not what I got. I'm not saying that that's what they're doing here, but there's a fine line between being vague and being deceiving. So before moving on from this, let's talk about the difficulty modifier. Anthem has taken a Diablo-style approach to this, which I understand, but in all honesty is a very lazy way to make things harder. This is going to make bosses just huge bullet sponges instead of having to be more tactful. When you learn the boss's moveset, it'll just be repeat, repeat, repeat until he's dead, which does not make for fun gameplay and certainly not good content to watch. Now, I don't want to sound negative about all that, it may turn out to be good, but from what we've seen from games in the past, I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic at best. Moving on from that, let's talk about some stuff that's just outright dumb. First off, it was said that Anthem activities will scale to the number of players in the activity and the player level. Now here's the issue with that. I've been dropped into the stronghold entirely on my own, probably due to matchmaking issues in the demo, and those enemies were either scaled so little that I couldn't tell the difference, or it wasn't there at all. This leads me to believe that the scaling has to do with how many players the game assumes you have, and in a stronghold there's no reason, due to matchmaking, you shouldn't have 4, so they are set in difficulty. Therefore, the only thing that will scale is missions due to the option of going in privately. This is all fine, I guess, but it was publicized as a large part of the allure, and it's not turning out to be that so far. Lastly, for dumb stuff, it's that everyone is saying, Anthem DLC will be free. Okay, here's the deal. The actual quote is Anthem Story DLC will be free due to the implementation of purely cosmetic microtransactions. So not only does this already give them the out later to say, hey, this isn't Story DLC, so you're going to have to pay for this, but does anybody recognize this approach? I seem to recall another publisher doing the same thing and failing, specifically Activision and Bungie with Destiny 1. Now, I'm not comparing Bungie to BioWare, they're both fantastic developers, and I respect them greatly. Not only that, but they're very different in their core values. But Activision and EA are cut from the same cloth of money-hungry publishers with little to no intention of making good experience for the players, and are always conscious of their bottom line. So don't make any mistakes. If there's not enough money flowing, there's not going to be free DLC. EA is a business, and it needs to make money to survive. Further on this point, it seems like all games are trying to take a Fortnite-style approach to things nowadays, and while I understand that you do what has proven to be successful, comparing a AAA title, DLC, to Fortnite expansions is a little ridiculous. And you know why Fortnite transactions do so well? Well, it's largely due to the fact that the game itself is completely free of charge and didn't have a $60 price tag. This brings me to my last point. EA is not in a good place right now, and by that I mean its stock is down by 50%. It's gotten just a touch better, probably due to Anthem hype, but the demo is losing so many pre-orders, it's probably making those big EA wallets start to tighten up a bit. EA has a history of killing games by being too hungry, but I'm less worried about that and more worried that EA will jump ship if Anthem falls on hard times because, let's face it, they just can't afford it right now. And they've done it in the past, so why not now? So that's my opinion, and it's why I'm concerned about what we're looking at in the future. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like this video if you share some of these beliefs. Subscribe to the channel for future content. And with that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.